everyone, welcome to my channel, Dementia Daily. I'm your host, Pam Reese. If you have a loved one with Alzheimer's or related dementia, if you are caring for someone with the disease, or if you suspect that someone you know may have the disease, you are at the right channel. We will be taking deep dives into the disease from before the onset of symptoms to the very end. And I will be giving you tips and information that will transform your journey and your loved one's journey of Alzheimer's. But first, why me? Why am I qualified to host this channel? Well, here's my story. It all started 35 years ago when I became a director of nursing in a large skilled nursing and rehabilitation center. At that time, you could say it got into my blood taking care of the elderly. I continued on in this industry, being a district director, a regional director, a vice president of clinical operations, responsible for the care and services of 82 facilities in 8 states. And ultimately, I reached my goal of being an owner-partner of senior health communities. Throughout my career, I managed and I built memory care units, always applying evidence-based practice and high-level staff training. I truly believed that my memory care units were among the best in the nation, if not the best. 9 years ago, I transitioned from being a professional caregiver to a personal caregiver when my mom started showing signs of Alzheimer's. And in spite of my years of experience, in spite of all the collaborations I have made within the industry, all I could think of was help. Help me, anybody. So my mom, who at 85 was always healthy, vibrant, full of energy, and she did all the things that she read about to diminish the chances of getting Alzheimer's. My mom read books every day. She did crossword puzzles. She would spell her name backwards every time she would think of it. She took vitamin zinc, and I could go on and on. You see, Mom knew a lot of people in life with Alzheimer's, and it was the one disease that she would always say to me, I will do anything to not get Alzheimer's. And then she did. So those initial symptoms, I was in complete denial, as a lot of people are. I really wanted to believe it was something else. And so I would check my mom's urine for a urinary tract infection. I would have my mom drink 2 glasses of Gatorade a day and sometimes a Pedialyte because I was convinced that she was dehydrated. I checked and rechecked her medications to make sure that they were effective, that she wasn't having some latent side effects. I did everything I could to equate her changes to something else. But then I realized, Mom is getting Alzheimer's, or she has Alzheimer's. And so I became angry. Why is she behaving this way? How in the world could this have happened to my mom? And this went on to turn into sadness. So sad to see the person you love. They look the same, but they don't act the same. All that eloquent, beautiful mannerism was gone. I couldn't believe it, and it made me incredibly sad to see these changes happening. Well, I took my sadness and I turned it into obsession. Obsession with the thought that I can heal my mom. I really thought that I could figure it out. And as I was figuring it out, my sweet daughter took to the hands-on care of one of her most favorite people in life, her grandma. We teamed, me still thinking I was the director of care, and she being the caregiver. This was a journey I never ever dreamed that I would be taking. In the meantime, I began to research extensively, thinking that there has to be something I don't know. There's got to be more. Was I right? No, I was wrong. There was more. I furthered my study of the regions of the brain, those regions affected by Alzheimer's. I knew that Alzheimer's was a buildup of amyloid plaque, and all I could think of at this time was, it's only plaque. We get plaque on our teeth. We go to the dentist and have our teeth cleaned. We use special toothpaste to diminish plaque on our teeth. We can get a buildup of plaque in our arteries, and our physicians will order us a medication to help diminish that. So why in the world is there not a pill that we can take to diminish the amyloid plaque buildup in our brains? I then studied the 5 medications. Yes, there were only 5 medications produced and created within a 20-year span for Alzheimer's or cognitive decline. There is a newer medication that the FDA approved over the last couple years, but this is only my opinion. I'm not sure they really work. I've used all medications except for the newest one many times in memory care units, and I can tell you I saw it not affect most people. Not to say that there aren't some out there that it did work for. I am a full-on supporter of anyone trying to use something that might work in this disease. But it didn't work in my mom. In fact, it made her symptoms worse. And after 12 days, I discontinued the use of that medication, and Mom returned to her baseline of her symptoms. I spoke to specialists, gerontologists, neurologists. I read research papers published by the best universities, and ultimately, I learned about the heart-mind connection. The heart-mind connection, I thought? Well, I kept reading about it. I kept studying it. Was I onto something? Well, maybe. You see, deep inside of the temporal lobe of our brain is a small almond-shaped region called the amygdala. The temporal lobe is generally the region of the brain that is first affected by Alzheimer's. It is the region that houses our memories, and that is why the forgetfulness, the short-term memory loss are generally the first signs. And inside of this region, as I said, the amygdala, you know what that is? It's our emotional center. It houses all of our emotions. And that little tiny region stays intact in the Alzheimer's patient until nearly the end of the disease. And speaking of the heart-mind connection, emotions and our hearts have an incredible connection. And that's what I had. So, unfortunately, I didn't invent the cure for Alzheimer's, but I may have decreased the progression of the disease in the most positive way possible. It's about awakening the subconscious mind of the Alzheimer's patient. I know it sounds ominous. It might even sound weird, but it works. It is said and proven that in spite of losing declarative memory, the Alzheimer's patient has the innate ability to feel. And we, as the caregivers, have the ability to make those feelings as good as we possibly can. It is also proven that a caregiver's influence on the Alzheimer's patients lasts for a very long time. This can be either good influencers or it could be bad influencers. So, I ultimately developed a program that teaches caregivers just that. In this daunting, stressful, sad journey of caring for Alzheimer's, the caregivers need as much positive energy as the patient does. In a disease with no prevention, no treatment, and no cure. What else do we have? As I mentioned in the introduction of my video, I will be uploading videos that speak to the various dementias with, by the way, Alzheimer's is the most prevalent. I'll talk about onsets, early onsets, progression, symptom analysis, tips and interventions, and of course, I will be talking about awakening the subconscious mind. So, if this is content that you're looking for, if this is content that you believe will be helpful to you or to someone you know, please subscribe. Please share this with others, and I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here.